There are various factors that affect the performance of a network. These can be summarized into 5 different categories, and I'm going to just tell you about a bit of each one in turn. So bandwidth, which is directly proportional to the amount of data that can be transferred per second, and you often see bandwidth referred to as like 500 megabits, 200 megabits, 100 megabits. A typical standard slow broadband connection will be about 10 or 11 megabits per second. A fiber broadband connection can be anywhere from about 35 megabits per second up to anywhere like 200 megabits. Obviously, the higher the bandwidth will improve the performance. The download speed, the communication, the transmitting of the data will be much faster. Now, if you've ever been sat at home and you found that your internet's gone really slow, it might be because a brother or sister's playing like an online game and it's zapping the bandwidth on your home network. So the number of users on a network can also affect the speed of it. So the bandwidth must be split between users, and therefore this increases or reduces the overall performance of a network. So if you've ever logged onto the school network and thought it's really slow, it might well not actually because the network is really slow. It might just be that there's a lot of people logged on all in one go, and therefore that slows the network down. So try coming in really early in the morning and you'll probably find that your network in school is a lot quicker. The type of media that's being used. So in a separate video we've looked at wired and wireless networks, and we've looked at different types of cable. If we're using fiber optic, then that is much faster than copper cable, copper cable would be used on old telephone lines, and that's the most common type actually of internet connection that we still have in this country, whereas fiber optic is becoming more popular but isn't the most popular type yet. So transmitting over fiber optic is going to be a much faster way of improving the performance of a network. Interference, such as physical objects. If you've got like if you live in a fairly old house, you'll notice that the house is made quite of good solid brickwork that can interfere with wireless signals being sent through from one room to another. Whereas if you live in kind of a more modern house with more modern construction material, you'll find that those walls are slightly thinner, so therefore the signals can get through a little bit more easily, and your broadband, your connection to your Wi-Fi router will go a little bit further. Electrical interference can also impact on devices, and also severe weather can as well. And then beyond that, your hardware choices can impact on a network. So how you've set your network up, so like the topology of your network, and you'll see more about that in a separate video, and also how you've laid your devices out on a network can also have a big impact on the overall performance.